Yes, I am. So, let us... Yes, you are... We talked about how all this was going down. So basically where we begin this whole mess is right outside of Dublin in a scout camp, in a scout jamboree, or rather, it's not a jamboree. It's too small for that. But it's your troop, just your troop, camping down for the night. And the girls are basically... after all, we are talking the Irish Girl Scouts here. We're not talking the American Girl Scouts. You do other things except sell cookies.
I should hope so.
Which is, in fact, something that that they take a certain amount of pride in. It is, of course, still a Catholic organization running this, because it always is when it's in Ireland. But there you go.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. They're not being terrible about it. And you... so it is early evening in the scout camp. The girls have set up their... they've set up their tents. A couple of them have arranged for a fireplace. Mm-hmm. And a few more have... a few more of them are basically trying to cook up something to eat from the provisions that was, that you brought along with you. Nobody actually expects you to go out there and shoot an animal on your own.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
I have to know, am I along as an assistant leader,
yes.
or I'm along as an assistant leader? Okay.
Yes. This is, in fact, meant to be your first such attempt.
Oh, I am giddy then.
Yes. And the troop leader, who is a young woman of 19. She's actually quite a nice girl. She's been very helpful so far, and has been, explaining a few things here and there so as not to, quite frankly, not to scare you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is, that's the situation. What do you do?
Well, I ask her if there's anything she needs me to do right away, or if I should just go around to find anything.
Boy, why don't you check up on each of the girls? They're, make sure that the tents are up correctly. That quite frankly, the last thing I think either of us want is to get up in the middle of the night with one of the crying girls because her tent has collapsed on top of her.
Yeah, that's true. I'll do that.
Yep, no problem. She lets you go off and do that.
I think I start with the cooking girls, just because it's easier to stop them early if they fuck up the food, rather than having to wait.
Indeed. Well, they seem to have it mostly in order. What they're making probably isn't going to be the world's most interesting dinner, but it should be edible and not taste horrible.
Well, that's good.
And,
Good work, girls. Mind if I taste just a bit?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I taste a bit, just to make sure it's not...
It doesn't taste of a whole lot, but I hate to say this is Irish cooking.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. So I'm kind of used to that, but I maybe try adding some salt, but otherwise it's good work, girls.
Well, they bring out the salt bag and...
Yeah, I watch them so they don't throw the whole thing in.
One of them, who's slightly younger, is not too sure how much is too much and how much is too little, so you have to adjust the dosage, or else you guys would have been unable to eat what they were making.
Yeah, let me help you.
Okay.
And then I'm on to, the tents. Because it takes a while to put those up, so might as well get started.
Two of them need to be adjusted, but the rest are actually set up correctly. And the last two is mostly a matter of them. There's some slack in the lines, which basically meant that if any kind of wind had blown up during the night, they would have. You would have had to extricate those girls from the bundle of cloth that their tents would have turned into.
Well, I make sure to tell them this,
Yes.
but I also make sure to praise all of them for, well, that's the only mistake they made, so that's good work.
Yes.
Then there were, I assume the campfire was at the other girls.
Yes.
Cooking.
Yes.
So
as you walk around the camp, you notice in a nearby tree, you notice a raven staring at you. It's a humongous bird, quite frankly. An actual raven is a very large bird to begin with. But this is a real whopper of a specimen, and it's clearly staring straight at you.
Oh, interesting. I feel kind of cheeky, so I wave at it, and then I observe it for a little while. And not wave it away, just, hi.
The bird actually beats its wings a couple of times. You have a weird feeling for a second, like you have to blink an extra time, because you could have sworn that there was almost this blue outline to its wings, but that can't be right. So, and then it just folds its wings back in and sit there, and it caws at you just once. And then it just sits there and looks.
I look around to see if anyone else is watching this enormous bird.
Nobody else is. No, nobody else is. It is in a small patch of woods, obviously. So not you wouldn't set up camp literally right next to a highway. That would be sort of defeating the purpose, obviously.
Yeah.
So you are in a lightly wooded area.
Well, I still think I still have to put up my own tent, but
yes.
I have time to look at this bird.
Yes.
I approach it slowly as to not scare it. I don't want that big thing in my face.
No. Well, the bird sits there and actually looks remarkably calm as you approach it. Even, I don't know, how close do you go?
Before I get too close, actually, I think I check my pockets. Do I happen to have any bread or edibles of any kind?
No.
I think I consider for a little while going to get some, but then I realize it's probably going to be gone if I leave. So I get somewhat close, and I kind of kneel down and try to make it approach me.
Well,
here, buddy.
It's sitting up in a tree, and it's looking down at you as you crouch, and it seems mildly interested. Then it suddenly, out of nowhere, not because you've scared it or anything, maybe because it's just got somewhere else to be. It spreads its wings and takes off and flies off into the woods or over the trees.
Oh, well, I sheepishly wave at it, like, have a nice evening.
And as you do that, you see in between the trees, you see another animal.
Oh.
This is a lot weirder.
Okay.
Because there aren't supposed to be any deer or stag around this part. They are fairly large animals, and they can be dangerous if you get too close. But this thing is actually, there's a humongous stag, but it is still off at a very safe distance, and it doesn't look like it's got any particular interest in getting closer. But it is looking at you.
Well, that's kind of serious. I look at it, and just because that's what I've been doing so far, I give it a little hey, and then...
As you do that, you see the raven landing on the antlers of this enormous stag. It pecks a few times at the antlers as if cleaning its beak or something.
Mm-hmm.
Stags don't let birds do that.
No, that's I stare at them for a while, and then I think, oh well, if there's such a huge stag around here, I should probably inform the troop leader,
Yes.
just in case.
Yes.
Also, deer they can be quite loud, can't they?
Yes, quite.
In the night?
No, and not so much if it's out of mating season, and this is definitely out of mating season.
Oh, good enough. It's more, so we didn't get.
But that's the other thing. This is spring, and that thing did not have spring antlers. I mean, you are a scout, you would know that kind of thing, obviously. That thing had fall antlers. They were huge. And they weren't covered in fluffy fur or anything. They were just massive things.
Well, I know that as being weird, definitely, but...
The stag keeps looking at you for a while, then it dips its head very slightly, turns around and walks away in between the trees, with the raven still sitting on its antlers.
That is so weird. Have a nice evening, Mr. Stag. And then I go to find this 19-year-old troop leader.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I think I just saw a stag in between the trees.
Are you sure? There shouldn't be any stag around here.
No, that's why, just in case.
That is a problem. I suppose we're going to have to tell the girls to pack up again then. They're going to be pretty upset by that.
Well, I might have been wrong. This was evening, right?
It's early evening, and she says, "You know what?
It could have been a tree. I mean,
shit." She says, "Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be cursing, especially not in front of you. You know what? Here we can't leave the girls here alone." But take my flashlight, take my torch,
yeah,
go and go. Don't go too near, just to be on the safe side. And if you see anything, then whatever you do, run back here. But just could you go and just check one more time, please?
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
I go to take my. I haven't put my tent up yet. Sure, well,
don't worry, I'll do it for you while you're gone. I mean, you're doing something really important here.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So I get her torch, and I probably get a piece of clothing that's a bit warmer.
Yeah.
And then I go to the woods.
Yes. You head in between the trees towards where you saw the stag.
Yeah, and I walk quite slowly, both to make sure that I don't stumble on something and to not surprise a stag with not spring antlers.
Well, yeah. As you walk towards where you saw these things before, you do feel for a second. It's only very briefly. It's like when you saw that thing with the bird's wings. You feel a little bit woozy. Just for a moment, you feel a little woozy.
I think I lean against a tree.
Yeah.
I've always liked plants, so
yeah.
Hopefully that'll make me feel a bit better.
Yeah.
Also to regain my balance.
Exactly. You continue walking after that? It passes quickly enough.
Yeah, but again, slowly.
Sure.
And every once in a while I make sure to look to see how far in I've gotten.
It actually goes quite well. Right up until a point where you've maybe walked, you're pretty sure you haven't walked more than maybe 30 feet. But when you turn around, you can't see the camp anymore. And you can't see the edge, or you can't see the clearing anymore. There's nothing but trees.
Shit. I look up. How dark is it?
It's becoming, well, it's still even. It's not dark yet, but you did need to bring a torch.
Yeah.
There's a half moon up tonight, so you can at least see a little bit. But it is becoming very dark quickly.
Okay. I take a deep breath,
Yes.
just to calm myself, because I'm panicking does no good. So, and then I shine the light on the ground behind me. Can I see it's not snowing or anything, but I might be able to retrace my steps.
It is early spring 2013, so no, it's not snowing. But I mean, if you get 2 inches of snow, all of Ireland bogs to a halt. Literally, they had 3 ounces or 3 inches of snow in Ireland the year before I got there. They then realized that they had 1 snowplow for all of Ireland and 1/4 of a ton of road salt, and that was what they had to cover the country. Everything ground to a halt. So no, it doesn't snow.
Well, I shine the light behind me.
Yes. The torch sputters and dies.
Well, first I try to, get it to work, shaking it a bit.
Yes.
That I assume that doesn't work.
Doesn't.
I check my pockets. Do I have anything with me at all?
Couple of pieces of string and maybe a compass. I mean, scout and all that.
Well, a compass is pretty good, but I didn't take note on which direction I went in.
No.
Okay, I search around because I can still see a little bit for a branch.
Yes.
Just in case.
Yes.
And to make myself feel a bit safer.
Well, there is that. As you search for a good, solid piece of wood to hit something with, you can actually see a torch coming towards you.
Oh. I think I call out to them, "Hey, over here."
Well,
who else could it be? Then obviously the leader got
exactly. A woman steps out from between the trees. She's wearing a heavy overcoat and a hat. Okay. And it's kind of, it is dark, so it is kind of hard to make out her features or anything of the sort. But she is holding a torch in one hand, and she.
I don't know her. I assume.
No, you have no idea who this is. She realizes that you're there, and goes, "Oh, I had no idea there would be someone here."
Oh, excuse me. I've gotten lost from my troop. I went in here to find a never mind. Do you know where the scouts are camped nearby?
Oh, so there are more, not just you.
Yeah.
I see.
How old does she appear to be?
She does appear to be maybe about 55, thereabout.
And that probably does make me relax a bit more.
She reaches up and scratches one side of her face.
Mm-hmm.
And goes, "I see. Very interesting. And you have no idea where they are?"
Well, I came from that direction, so I assume they're that way.
They probably are then. Have you tried walking back that way, young lady?
That I was going to, but then my torch died, so...
Oh, I see. Well, I suppose, she says, and removes her hat and opens her mouth, and it just keeps opening, almost like a snake unlocking its jaw.
What?
Says, "I suppose I shall be eating well." And it looks like something out of a horror movie. Her eyes are slits, like a snake's eyes.
I would like to turn around and run.
Yes, and as you turn around, you see right behind you, crouched low to the ground, is a wolf with its fangs bared.
Oh shit! I want to run sideways then.
Yeah, you move sideways as the wolf leaps, and you stumble, fall to the ground. You see the wolf flies over where you were standing and hits the woman full force, barrels her over, and begins to tear at her, literally trying to kill her. And she is flailing and screaming and shouting at the top of her lungs. And finally, she manages to throw the wolf away, and the wolf does something. You're not sure what it is. The last thing you remember is the sound of flesh tearing and bones breaking. And then the next thing that happens is that you wake up somewhere. It is very late night. You are no longer in the woods. You have no idea whatsoever where you are. You are stark naked. And it's rather cold.
Yeah, I assumed as much. I'm just lying on the ground?
Yes, you're lying on the ground on a plowed field.
What?
The only thing you can hear is a bah nearby.
I get up and I examine myself.
You've got quite a few scratches. You've got some bruises. But you're not you're not hurt otherwise. You're not bleeding. You don't seem to have any broken bones. Doesn't even hurt, really.
All right,
It's just cold.
I make sure to check my surroundings real quick, just to see if anyone's nearby.
Actually, no. You're in a dell, which is like a lowering in the terrain. You can see some sheep up on the nearest side of the dell, but that's about all. There's a small flock of sheep standing there looking at you dumbly, because that's what sheep do.
That is what sheep do.
Occasionally they bleat a little at you, but that's about it. You can't hear any cars anywhere.
All right, I take a moment, or rather probably a rather long moment, to try and calm myself, because holy shit, I'm about to hyperventilate.
Mm-hmm.
And when that fails to work, I guess I get up.
Yeah. As you get up, you hear the screeches of a raven, and you see it flying over the night sky, passing right past the moon, so you can see the outline of this great big bird.
Oh shit! I get scared, obviously. I know this is a stupid question, but does it look like the same raven?
Yes, it does. It's the same size.
And which way did it fly?
Towards you.
It's coming towards me?
Well, not diving on you, but it's coming in your general direction, yes.
Shit. Now that I'm standing up, can I see anything?
You're getting up. Turning around, I suppose, to check around you?
Yeah, I mean, I assume then when I get up, I can maybe see over the edge of the dell.
No, you can't. It's something like maybe 15 meters up to the sides of the hills.
Holy shit.
Like a small cauldron in the ground, basically.
Okay. I
mean, you can run up the sides of the hill. You just have to move past the sheep.
Yeah, I think I'm doing that. It makes no sense to just stand here.
No.
I'm so confused.
Yes. You move up the side of the dell, get to the top of it. You still have absolutely bog-all idea of where you are. You can see a couple of houses in the distance.
Okay. Again, I look around to see if anyone's nearby except for sheep.
Yeah. So you're turning around yourself, or you're just looking left and right.
I think I turn around myself.
Okay.
Full circle.
Full circle. Yes. You can still see the raven once in a while, just as if it's just passing over the moon, so you can see that it's there.
All right. because the last thing I remember was a creepy lady and a wolf.
Yes.
I'm going to assume that I must have run here fleeing from the wolf and exhausted myself because that's the only plausible thing.
Yeah.
And
clearly.
I begin moving towards the house.
Yes. Well, as you look up at towards the raven one last time, suddenly you feel someone putting a cloak or a cape or a heavy jacket around your shoulders. And you hear a woman's voice, not the same woman, incidentally, but you hear a woman's voice. She sounds much younger, this one. Saying, "You're going to be cold like that, kid."
Oh God, if I back away, do I fall down the dell?
Yeah, you're going to slide right back down in the dell that way.
That is what happens. Someone just touched me and talked behind me. I back away and
Yeah, especially since you just turned around and there wasn't anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you're about to fall, a hand shoots out of the darkness, grabs you, catches you by the arm, and steadies you. Careful. I have no interest in seeing you breaking your neck.
Who are you? Where am I?
My name is Mary. I'm the best friend you have right now. I think I'm the only friend you have right now.
I think there might be a wolf nearby.
Oh, I can assure you, more than one. 3.
I look at her like she's crazy.
3 to be exact.
What?
Yeah. Him, me, and you.
Now there's a him. I look for the him.
I think you might owe him your life, actually. If you hadn't killed that old fecker, she would have eaten you.
Who? What?
Oh, God. So we're going to have to start at the beginning. We're going to have to start with the basics here. Okay, listen.
What?
Okay.
I still look for the him because there's supposedly a him.
You see the outline of a wolf nearby, actually moving, with the in the moonlight.
I stay close to the woman because at least I don't know her, but she's not a wolf.
No. She calls out to that to the wolf. "Rourke, stop that shite! You're scaring her. I need her to listen." The wolf sits down, lolls its tongue. You can actually see it.
I turn to the woman. "You have a wolf as a pet?"
Pet? Nobody keeps wolves as pets. They can't be domesticated. Shite! I thought you knew stuff like that. If you're a girl scout. No. He's not me pet. He's me friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I am not getting anything.
Oh, all right. This is not going to be easy, kid. Sit still for a moment. I'm not going to hurt you. She gets up. She makes a face, an angry kind of face. She doesn't look at you. She half turns away. You can see her shivering briefly.
Mm.
And then she suddenly, well, it's not that she vanishes, but within the blink of an eye, or 2 blinks of an eye, or at least very, very, very swiftly, she crumbles towards the ground, and in front of you stands a wolf, very dark red-ish sort of fur.
Holy shit! I back away, and I have this cloak, and I'm going to try to use it to, keep the wolf at bay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't outrun a wolf. I want to, but...
No way you can. You can also see the one that was lolling its tongue is actually circling around behind you.
Ah! Shit. I try to keep my eyes at both of them at once, keeping the cloak between them and myself.
It's not actually possible to do.
I know.
They're literally behind you and in front of you. But as you, I suppose then that what you're doing is that you're shifting your eyes between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're, in front of me and behind me, I might be able to move to one of the sides.
Yes.
Possibly towards the nice houses.
Possibly, yes, except for the fact that the wolf that is now behind you is blocking the road between you and the houses.
Fuck.
Yes. But as you turn back around, the woman is standing there again.
Where did the wolf go?
I'm right here.
What?
I didn't think youth would be this dense these days, Rourke.
I don't know. I try to cover myself with the cloak while holding it.
She shakes her head and looks at you. Listen, girl, put that thing around you. You look like you're dying from cold. I am not your enemy. I'm the best friend you have right now, and I might, in fact, be the only friend you have right now. You're one of us. You're like him and me. You just ran 30 miles in a single night.
What? No, that's not possible. What?
I can prove it. There's a road sign right down there. You can go and take a look. It says Dublin 30 miles.
Uh-huh. Well,
All right, I'll be fair. Maybe then you only ran 25, but it's still, I think that's still pretty fair.
Well, I spy an out. I totally want to check this road sign only to get information and not to get away from these crazy people. Not at all.
It does follow you. So you get down there, and yes, it does in fact say Dublin 25 miles. You're halfway to Tara.
I just give up, and I look at her. Incredibly just, what? Look on my face.
No kidding. If you continue down that road another roughly 20 miles, you'll hit Tara. Oh, good grief. This is going to take some time.
I want to go home.
Yes, except home probably isn't exactly what you think it is, kid. If you go home right now, your parents are going to freak out, flip out, and then throw you out. They're going to be scared shitless of you.
What? Why?
Because you're one of us.
What is us?
We're called the Garou. You would probably think of it as werewolves.
What?
She holds out an arm, and it changes right before your eyes into this hairy, half man, half wolf appendage with long claws on it. Werewolf.
I back away from her and try to pinch myself because obviously I'm having a nightmare.
Doesn't really work.
I don't know. I'm drawing blanks. I just look at her cluelessly.
I suggest we go somewhere safe. You get something to eat. We find some proper clothes for you. And then we talk. A lot. She holds out a hand towards you after she changes it back to a normal one. She holds out her hand towards you as if to shake yours. As I said, my name is Ryan. My name is Mary Ryan.
Síomha Ni Braoin?
Pleased to meet you. Good Irish name.
I look towards the houses.
Not down there. Not down there. They'd run away as well. Trust me.
Do you have a car?
No. I've got legs. So do you.
Alright, I'm just gonna check my mental bank. Is there anywhere from, around where... If I'm 30 miles from Dublin, halfway to Tara, I think I can estimate roughly where I am then.
Pretty much, yes. Well, at least you have a rough idea.
Is there any kind of settlement nearby at all?
Yeah, within a couple of miles, probably, yes.
That's a fucking long way to walk. I don't think there's anywhere within miles from here.
All right, she says. Close your eyes. I'm not going to hurt you. As I said, I'm not going to hurt you. Close your eyes. Smell Just take in the air, smell the night.
I smell the night.
Yes. Now imagine running as fast as you can.
I imagine running as fast as I can.
Yes.
Through a nice daylit forest, but
you're still running. Right? She says. And then she gives you a slap over the back of your head. It's just enough to sting. Just enough to be annoying.
Okay.
And that at that moment you're angry, you're scared, and you're not so much you're scared more than angry probably, but it's still this, hey, what the hell?
Mm.
And she says, all fours with me right now. She gives you another slap, and then she falls down on all fours, and before you know it, so do you. She grins wolfishly at you, and she begins to run.
Well, I guess I'm a wolf now?
Yeah.
I take a moment to be like, what? And then I this woman is my only clue right now. I need to follow her before she gets out of sight.
Yeah.
So
you
I
run after her. And you run into the night, and we stop there.